Fans are singing along with Bryson Stott's walk-up music.
Dominguez kicks the pitch.
Swing and a miss. He got him. And the ball game and the series are over. Home run for Kyle Schwarber. A grand slam for Bryson and the Phillies have the National League Championship.
Alrighty, Chasers, welcome back to another episode of the Quit Chasin' podcast. A little cheeky, a little irreverent, and always unqualified. I'm Alex Kruger. That's Danny Gerb. Danny, say hi to the folks.
Hey, everyone. How you doing? How you doing tonight, Alex?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Dano?
Hey, I'm doing good. We got going. I feel good.
I do too. And actually, well, there's plenty of reasons why we maybe wouldn't have, and really that all circles around the week that was. I say we just kind of hop right into it, man, and talk about what happened this past weekend.
I agree with you. Friend of the show, Steve, we had him on our roundtable episode. He texted me bright and early, I believe, Monday morning. It might have been Tuesday with you guys have a lot to talk about this week. So let's just get to it.
He's not wrong. All right. In the first game after our last time recording, Philly left Boston and went down to Camden Yards. So Philly 5, Baltimore 3 was the final after 11. After that awful trip to Boston, we made our way to Camden Yards to take on a plucky, young as hell Orioles team with a pitcher we all love to heckle. We took game one, but it was a back and forth affair with each team trading runs through a rain delay between the 10th and 11th inning. Bohm did his job and we won. Rest in peace, no run scored streak for Mr. Matt Strom. Anthony Santander made a name for himself this weekend. Next game, though, was Philly 2, Baltimore 6. Danny, this game was my dad's Christmas present to me. Kind of want to take a mulligan on that one. No, it was cool going to see a baseball game with my dad on Father's Day weekend, even if our teams were squaring off. There's a lot of dudes that don't have the chance to do that, and we got to bring 3 generations of Kruger baseball fans to an iconic stadium. But it was a Taiwan
Absolutely
start.
right.
You know, like, how do you not love that opportunity? How do you not love that moment of taking 3 generations of baseball fans to a game on Father's Day weekend?
Absolutely. And no matter how booty that game may have been for the Phillies, there is going to be an eventual memory of you in the future where you're like, man, my dad was giving it to me on the way home.
Oh, for sure, dude. So here's the thing, and Kara will never forgive him for this, I don't think. But he was calling our Phillies, rally towels. He was calling them like tear towels. And at the end of the game, I didn't realize I had lost track of it. He had grabbed my towel and he was waving his towel, or the towel around his head in Camden Yards as we lost 6-2 in that game. And honestly, dude, like, it was a Taiwan Walker start. I woke up that morning assuming we were going to lose. And well, that worked out. Santander, dude, like, tied up in the 4th, gave them the lead in the 6th, and then put it away in the 8th. Honestly, it's crazy. The team from the bank got owned by a bank, and that might just be a central Pennsylvania joke. Santander Bank, anybody?
No, they're out here.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I forgot who they took over. They're huge.
Wachovia, I think.
Maybe
one of those.
But you know what? Here's the deal. We're going to be waving them deep into October. Let the man wave it in June.
I love that. I do. I love that. Speaking of just absolutely waving it, let's get to the last game of the series. Philadelphia 3, Baltimore 8 rather. Seeing as how the Phillies had already ruined my Christmas gift, I was not going to give them Father's Day as well. So instead of watching the game, I listened to it while the girls and I went to my aunt's pool. Thank you, Aunt Pammy. And it became very apparent very quickly I need not pay attention to the game. Honestly, Danny, I told you a little bit about this today, but I ended up getting some water stuck in my ear and giving myself a pretty nasty ear infection. And honestly, I'd rather have that than have to spend my Father's Day listening to or watching that game. So what did I miss about my Baltimore analysis?
No, nothing. It's one of those things. So we talked about it. We were talking about it all up into the show. Like, what do we do? And it was going to be a somber show. It was going to be a strip down. We were going to not have any fun. We were going to rant and rave and yell and scream until San Diego. And then everyone in the media, people smarter than us, people associated with the team itself, all chalked it up to the travel. So I think we're just going to do the same.
I don't know, man. You go across the country for a 2-game series that you don't play well. You come home for a hot second before you go to London. You leave London, go straight to Boston, and then go to Baltimore before you ever touch home. Like, that's crazy. That is an insane amount of travel, an insane amount of time being away from your kids, especially since there's like 9 dads of babies and infants on the team. I swear to God. So yeah, like I'll allow that. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. It's why I'm going to die on the hill of I don't want the first round bye. I'll tell you that right now. I do not want the LA Dodgers. Can you please heed the call and take that number 1 spot? I don't want it. And I'm not scared once we get to round 2, but like, no, I'm good on that. I don't want the rest. The rest is terrible for our pitching staff. We just saw that.
Yeah. I mean, if that wasn't proof that like maybe this playoff structure isn't correct, I mean, the argument has been made now in the last 2 seasons that it's not. And we just saw what happened with extra rest, and you can't come into an NLDS looking like that. And it adds more. Like, I hate
Atlanta's done. That's what Atlanta's done for 2 years, and we knocked him out because of it.
Right. I hate to be like, maybe Atlanta's onto something and all their whining and complaining, but maybe they're onto something.
I mean, they still suck. It's Atlanta, but
we would have beaten them anyways. But
I guess the Astros maybe is that one caveat of like, yeah, they got the buys and still did their job. So
right, that's the answer. We always come back. Well, the Astros can do it, but the Astros can do it. So it looks like the Phillies can't.
No, I know, and that's pretty scary. But thankfully, as you alluded to, man, we went home, and that's when things turned around. So in the first game of that series, San Diego 2, Philadelphia 9. So Christopher Sanchez and the entire Phillies team benefited from a night of rest in their own sleep number beds and home cooking, and it showed as we collected a season-high 18 hits. Clearly, we can credit this to the return of the single most important piece to this Phillies lineup. We go as he goes, and his absence has been felt exponentially, especially lately. That's right, folks. Liam Castellanos is reunited with his dad and 28 crazy uncles this weekend. And my favorite father, with a PH, came alive. Also, Trey Turner returned.
Yeah, Trey Turner returned. It was welcome.
He's great. He's love the kid. Game 2, San Diego 3, Philly 4. Now, honestly, this game was pretty fun. We got a run in the 4th, and then they get 3 runs in the 6th, but it didn't quite feel like a loss right away. And then Schwarber made it a 3-2 game with a homer in the 8th. And when we saw the man who gave up the Bedlam at the bank homer, we got 4 straight hits and snatched one. But that was the end of our revelry. In the last game of the series, San Diego 5, Philly 2. I don't know, man. This game was on while I was at work, so I didn't get to see any of it. But before I went into a meeting, it was 1-1 in the 5th. And when I came out, it was a 5-2 loss. Harper got 2 homers, putting him and Schwarber at a 17-all tie for the home run lead. But, like, I don't know. Hey, guys, I dare you to both get 45. What do you have for this series, Dano?
Yeah. Great to be back home, right?
We'll see. We got a few more games to play here.
Yeah, well, the Diamondbacks are coming in. So if they're not up for that game, if they're, you know what I mean? If they're not up for that series, what series do they get up for? You know,
so to that point, you and I have really been looking for all those times that Philadelphia teams typically lose that game or that series, whether it's coming back from a trip overseas, whether it's playing a day game after a late night game, whether it's a day-night doubleheader. And I feel like the revenge series against Arizona at home, I don't know. I don't feel super confident about it. Do you?
No, not at all. If they're going to do that thing that
series.
So, all right, this kind of goes into like we weren't going to have fun this week and we were like rant and scream and just so like inside baseball, like some production notes for people who are wondering what the behind the scenes look like at the Quit Chasing podcast. The tentative title for this episode was going to be We Are Bob, and it was a direct reference to Bob Wankel on the Crosstalk podcast, where he played a Negadelphian, quote unquote, like sports caller coming in, and like that was us. That was exactly us. He put it in the framework of like knuckleheads that kind of don't know anything and want to overreact. I don't think we're putting in that framework. We're just saying like, no, dude, that is straight up us. And that is kind of what we were going to do. So in that vein of the Bob Wankel caller, We Are Bob, like, yeah, they don't get up for those games. They They had a chance to win 50 for the season. That milestone hanging there. There's just these weird, like, it goes back to like their national televised games. Like this
dude, and there's two of them this weekend. 2 national television games this weekend.
Like this team just we love them. We know how great they are. I understand why the national media or other national fan bases were like, what is going on? The Phillies so overrated, because every time they get in front of a market or in front of people nationally that aren't local Philadelphia fans, they really shit the bed, and they do it constantly. They don't rise to these occasions. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't rise to Atlanta either.
No, which is crazy, because from what I've always understood, it's really hard to beat a team with 5 starting outfielders. But you know, it's the damn roster construction. It is some of these bullshit lineups that Topper throws out on these national televised games. Taijuan Walker shouldn't have touched England soil with like the ball in his hand. That was crazy. So we'll see. I mean, I got what, Chris Sanchez on Sunday. Who do we have tomorrow? I honestly don't know.
Yeah, neither do I.
Who's after Sanchez? Is it Taijuan?
Yeah, Taijuan is tomorrow.
Awesome. Taijuan for the Apple Plus game. That's gonna be a barn burner.
So
we'll see. We'll see what kind of a mood we're in next week, folks. Next week's might be our ejection button emergency pod week. So that's great.
Maybe. I mean, we did learn a couple things with the San Diego series, right? So Trey comes back, Rojas gets sent down. I don't think anyone was horribly shocked by that, which is also a good thing. He had the option. He jumped from AA straight to.
He needs this round of development. I mean,
yeah, like
he got thrown in the deep end. Yeah, yeah, so, and like, it's time.
Yeah, let him see some AAA pitching, get a bunt down, some pitch recognition. This isn't a bad thing. We'll see him again. He stays with the team, so like team morale there, but. It is unbelievably clear after that move that the trade deadline acquisition is going to be a center fielder, right? Or some sort of big outfield bat. Center, maybe not, but a big outfield bat.
We're not GM guys or contract guys.
No, not at all.
I'm trying not to get into the trade talk and all that crap, but what I want is a new Greg Soto and like a different David Dahl.
Yeah, like here's the thing, right? We're not GM guys. We're not trade talk guys. The only reason I said it is because you don't have to be any of that to see that. Like that's obvious.
It's so obvious, and we should be able to.
You're running out 2 platoons in your outfield.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like that's the thing. Like it's not a genius to come up with this take. So I it's a little out of our lane to talk that kind of stuff. Not in this case.
No, I
absolutely
agree.
Not in this case. It was
evident. Others could have this conversation. They could say the same thing.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about that. But I think it is unbelievably evident at this point, right?
I think so.
And then the Soto problem.
And then the Soto problem, which what else can be said? We've said enough. We've said enough about that. I'm done seeing Greg Soto come in less than a 3-run deficit. Yeah. If it's a 3-run deficit, then fine. We can call the day and put Soto in. Anything other than that, we're still competitive. He can't be in. That's all.
Well, and I get where Topper's coming from. It's probably like you want to work through it type thing. Because he went for the wins, the games 1 and 2 against San Diego. When it comes to availability, and that's the thing, like we all know what's going to happen when Soto comes out. But you need that guy that isn't, I just burnt my horses. Who's the guy that gives us a shot, just not instantly gives it up? Who is that guy? Do we have that guy? Like you might, it's not the I'm going for the win A team. It's not my horses.
I mean, last year was it Dylan Covey?
He was the long man, wasn't
he? Yeah, but like you could count on him, and you know that if he was going to come in, you were all right. He was going to take care of you. That's what you need. Right. You need that confidence guy. You need that guy of like, nah, man, you're coming. We're good. We're good. I don't want you coming in every day, but like when I do see you, I'm cool with it. Also, that was a bit Jeff Hoffman towards the beginning of last year. Like when I remember there was a hot second when he came up and you were like, this bum, if I ever see this bum again, I will pull my hair out. But then like slowly he just started like fight back. You're like, okay, dude, like this guy is something.
We do need that guy, and I know it's June, but like that, I need a guy that isn't my horse to burn my horses for the win, but we got to get through these innings. And I don't know, it's not Soto, at least not right now.
No, but you know what, Dan? I think we have been.
don't.
You could if you wanted, because I think we've just been too negative here, and I think you and I need to have some fun. We didn't want in Negadelphia, so why don't you tease to the crowd what's coming up, and let's have some fun.
Yeah, do you know what? We are going to go on break once again, but we will have some fun when we come back. I promise, right? Do I
Yes,
promise?
sir. I think.
All right. Yeah, cool. Give me 1 second.
At ESPN, a Sunday Night Baseball. Stole my bit, Danny.
You had to start a rock band. Who would you take from the team, and what's the band name?
I texted you like
Yeah,
2
you did.
weeks ago, and I said, "Yo, why don't we each come up with a rock band made up of Philadelphia Phillies players?"
I take Kyle Schwarber. I take Stubby. I take Pache.
Jerks at ESPN stole my bit, asked Brandon Marsh, and they waste it's a 10-second bit when you can easily get a 10 to 15-minute conversation out of that question alone. I am irritated that they stole my bit. Guys, we're still going to do it.
Stay loose and sexy, baby. There you go.
The Quit Chasin podcast is a proud part of the Old City Sports Network. Hop on over to the Old City Sports Network and check out some of our favorite shows. Flyers Alley, 2nd and 15, Check the Net, and stay tuned because Pub and Grub is going to be bringing some fantastic content your way. And if live entertainment is what you're after, we're here to make that a little easier for you. With our sponsor SeatGeek, you can get $20 off on your first order when you use the promo code Old City Sports Network. Don't forget the E at the end of old. No matter who you are or when it is, it never hurts to look your best. If you have a beard in need of some love, make sure to check out Warlord Beard Essentials. And while you're there, use promo code OldSports in all caps and get 15% off, and then free shipping on all orders over $65. Lastly, Danny, I highly recommend you check out Righteous Felon Jerky Cartel. Hop on over to the Righteous Felon Jerky Cartel website and use promo code OCSN, all lowercase, and get 15% off of your order, plus free shipping on orders over $50. It's going to be a long season. Treat yourself and get a big old bundle of meat to snack on. You're worth it.
All right, we're back from the break. Thank you, everyone. Also, we've teased it long enough, right?
We have. Did we switch sides of the screen?
We did.
Okay, I feel like the mole in Robin Hood Men in Tights. We're just all over the place.
No, it was planned. If you not like this, I will not do it.
I'm fine with it. I didn't know if I was going crazy or not.
No, you're not going crazy. We did switch.
All right, fantastic. Anyways, folks, not to leave you in suspense any longer, but Danny and I have been talking for quite a while about this bit idea that came up. When do you have the timestamp in front of you, Danny? When did this come up?
April 29th, around that time. I can give you, just if you hold on for 1 second. It was the end of April. I know that factually. April 27th.
April 27th. I had texted you that as a bit, at some point, we should both create rock bands and assign players to different positions. And then I think it was just that Sunday night game.
It's either that Sunday or the next one.
It was insane, but they had Marsh mic'd up and they asked him to do essentially the same exact thing. And it's blown up, man. Stay Loose and Sexy is everywhere. There's shirts. Everyone loves it. And I know it's going to seem like we're doing a retread or something, but I really enjoyed this bit and I felt like ESPN did not do it justice. So Danny and I are going to do it justice this time, and we are going to create our band and name them. How excited are you, Danny?
I'm really excited. So I'm going to be honest with you, and I think I was eventually honest with you. When you initially texted me that, I read it and was like, yeah, well, like, keep it in the folders. I wasn't like, yeah, let's jump on that right now, or like, let's start making it now. It was I'm fine with it. I wasn't really in love with it, but
I was fully aware by your response. Don't worry.
Yeah, always
it was a secret.
Yeah, always good to have stuff in the bag for when we don't have something in the bag, right?
Rainy day activities.
Then ESPN did that, And then you started, coming at me like ESPN did that. We made the teaser. We've been playing the teaser on and off for weeks now. So the build for it, we better deliver. One, this better be good.
This better
be. And I'm real into it now. So yeah.
Nice. All right. So how do you want to do this? Do you want each of us to reveal our band in full? Or are we just gonna like ping pong a little bit? Because I don't know how many positions you have to fill, but I got like 8 maybe.
Yeah. So I have
8. Yeah. Jesus.
5. I got a 5-piece.
That sounds about right. I was expecting you to go traditional class. All of my so what I did was I built the 5-piece and then I added a couple of extra layers, keyboard, DJ, etc.
Yeah, so I didn't go traditional 5-piece with the lead guitarist, rhythm guitarist. I went lead guitar and an organ player.
Nice, bringing the Ray Manzarek into it. I like it.
Well, I think the organ player is going to be a real nice touch, a real nice accoutrement, if you will, to my front man.
I'm excited.
So I
think
those styles will work nicely.
All right. So how do you want to do this? Do we go piece by piece? Do we just reveal our team? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think we go piece by piece because I think that's where the fun is. I think let's build it from the rhythm section up. Like we'll start on Kit and go from there.
So I'm not as good of like musician. So Kit, you mean like drums or
drummer? Yeah.
All right. So I'll go first. My drummer is Brandon Marsh. So it's so easy. A caveman could do it. Now, Brandon Marsh looks like a dude that has spent his entire childhood, adolescence, and early adult years pounding out beats on tables, bus chairs, and generally any surface he was near at all times. He seems like he was built to be a drummer.
All right, I can see it. Yeah, he was on my short list for a drummer. Like,
love it.
He looks like he would have the attitude and dive into that position fairly well. I went with Kyle Schwarber on drums.
Ooh, you know what? He could definitely keep the tempo. I trust him to be in charge of that.
So the way I looked at it was the dude's he's a masher, right? Like he's a long ball masher. I think would bring to the drums a like John Bonham style of like bashing.
Okay.
He's a basher in baseball, so he's the basher in my band, and I went Schwarber on drums.
I love that. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go with one of my utility pieces then, just to kind of get that out of the way. I'm going to go turntable. On the turntable, I'm going Jose Alvarado. So give me Jose and some stylish sunglasses and like a beverage in his hand, spinning discs and rocking the table like a young DJ Chris Kilmore, man. That would make me so happy to see him dancing across the stage while laying some sick beats. That just makes sense to me.
You know what? Now that we started doing this, and I apologize to you and I apologize to our listeners, we should probably do our whole bands at once because people might start to get confused and we just start to like, oh, is that DJ part of my DJ? You know,
for how much as we moved around the show, we never actually discussed this one part of it. So why don't we just reveal our bands?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to go?
Why don't you go?
Sure. Yeah, right. That makes way more sense.
Sure does. So on drums, we have Kyle Schwarber.
On drums, we have Kyle Schwarber for the reasons I mentioned. My bass player. You need a steady hand at bass, and we have a steady hand. And not only is he a steady hand, but his nickname is the most ultimate bass playing nickname I have ever heard, and that would be Matt Pastrami Strom on the bass.
Wow. Absolutely.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
My guitarist is an absolute technician on the field, so he's an absolute technician on the stage. I have a Zach Wheeler as my lead guitarist.
That makes perfect sense.
He's going to be laying down some proggy riffs and changing time signatures on us like you've never seen, and I'm here for it.
I see that.
I'm adding a little bit of production and flair and a little more Latin groove to it, and I have Jose Alvarado on organ.
Oh man, delightful. Absolutely delightful. That is fantastic. Yes.
Now here's one, and almost wanted to talk to you about this because I kind of wanted to separate our stuff. I have a feeling our front man is exactly the same person.
There's only one on the team.
Yeah, there is.
There's
so
only
it
one
is.
front man. Okay, so go ahead.
Right.
Say it.
All right. That being said, we all know who it is at this point. But my reasoning
Wait,
for
now I'm starting to wonder if we don't know who it is. Is it? Say it.
Nick. It's Nick.
It's not. Okay. All right.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So-
That's even better. Go ahead.
So for my front man, you want some philosopher, you want a moody guy, you want a heady guy. I think this guy could channel his inner Mr. Mojo Rising.
Ooh.
And I went Nick Castellanos.
Dude, so I actually have him as my ghostwriter.
Okay,
so
all right. I didn't know we were doing that.
No, dude, we're playing by our own rules here. We're playing by our own rules that anything goes. But that's a fantastic band. What is the name of this band?
And the name of the band is the Ranger Dolls.
The Ranger Dolls. That's fantastic.
Yes.
That is fantastic. What brand of music are we talking here? Alternative, pop, rock.
Oh, they're straight up ripping off the Doors. Like,
Okay,
it is,
that
it is
tracks.
the Doors reincarnate.
That I would go see. That's a fantastic band. I like that. And it's crazy that I mentioned Ray Manzarek earlier when you brought out the organ piece. That's just kismet. That was meant to be. I love it. All right, Daniel, you ready for my band?
I'm here for it.
So, as we all know, on the drums, we have Mr. Brandon Marsh. And on the turntable, we have Jose Alvarado. But on the keyboard, we have Spencer Turnbull. I don't know. It just seemed like a really good candidate to be good enough to play piano, but not good enough to lead a band like Chris Martin from Coldplay or Ben Folds from so much more than just Ben Folds 5. So on keyboard, I got Spencer Turnbull. Now, Danny, I need you to go back to like 1996, 1997. Okay. Do you remember when like swing music happened for 20 minutes and we all cared for a second?
Oh, absolutely. Like the whole like that like mid
Cherry
90s,
Poppin'
mid to
Daddies
late
or
90s, like the whole ska.
Squirrel Nut
and
Zipper.
everybody everybody was skanking around with their brown corduroys on. I unfortunately remember that time. Yeah.
So that is why I am assigning a very special role to Garrett Stubbs. Garrett Stubbs is our boss tone. Okay. He's that one guy that was just on the stage, like bopping around. He did not play an instrument. He never sang a song. He just danced on stage and they called him the boss tone when they wrote out the names and the lineup. So Garrett Stubbs is our boss tone. I feel like that just makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
On bass. And this one actually gave me the most consternation because when I think of you, for some reason, I do think of bass. So I really wanted to do it justice and do it with respect. Kyle Schwarber. I went with Kyle Schwarber for bass because bassists come in so many shapes and sizes. And while he's not going to be like a Michael Flea Bowsery or anything, like he's a Craig Montoya, he's like a Chris Novelis. Like I definitely trust him to do the job, to bring the rhythm and to execute every single night.
Yeah, I could see it. I could even see him on bass being like I hate to say it, but like a Sam Rivers type,
Ooh, okay. I hate to hear you say it.
Yeah, I know, but like that kind of like you and Wes Borland are like the only two reasons why like Limp Bizkit may be a decent band. Because there is actually some talent between the two of you, type thing. Like I could see him being I could see Kyle Schwarber being the best member of an awful band.
That is a great way of putting that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. So next up comes lead guitar. And when I think about who I want in that lead guitar role, it's 100% Ranger Suarez, man. He's cooler than Slash or Jimmy Page or John Frusciante. Ranger is the dude I want floating around the stage, waiting for the moment to absolutely melt your brain with a perfectly timed solo. It is Ranger Danger all the way, without a doubt.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I stand by that.
No, you should. You should.
Guitar, though, okay? We've got Trey Turner, all right? He's here because of a hookup from the front man, but like he holds his own. He's a member of the team. So Trey Turner, rhythm guitar, because our front man, our vocalist, is none other than the only possible. It's Bryce Harper. He is the consummate front man.
The showman, right? Sure.
Molded for the spotlight, all right? Hopefully someone else is writing the lyrics, and I think it is Nick Castellanos. He's the one on the microphone. He's the star and the sales. It's a no-brainer. And therefore, Danny, I present to you Bryce Harper and the MV3s.
All right.
So,
All right.
other names under consideration: Bryce Harper and the Attaboys,
Okay.
and Clown Question Bro.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right?
That's a good one. Yeah.
All right. So without taking too much time, what other bands you got? Like, what other lineups did you tool with?
Not too much with the lineups. I was like, when it came down to the instrument or role in the band, like it kind of came to me and like the reasons why I picked them, and I didn't really stray from it. I was just like, nope, I'm standing by it. Like I think it all makes sense and I'm fine with it. The name was obviously the hardest part. I went with the Ranger Dolls, kind of like the East Coast punk scene, like Dolls, DOLLS type thing. But like the Stubby Bombers was one that I was stuck with. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, like a lot of like Wheelin' Ranger, stuff like that. Like I was
plays on words.
Yeah, I was going with the names, or
I like it.
I had a friend suggest to me, Nick. Hey, what up, Nick? The Nola Dolls, but like kind of like pronounce it more like Know-It-Alls.
Okay.
Know-It-Alls.
Like, oh, that's good. Actually, I like that.
The Nola Dolls. Yeah.
I like that. All right, so I got two other lineups that I love because of the names. Okay, I don't know why I love this. I don't at all, but I just do. Okay, so on vocals you got Brandon Marsh, lead guitar Alec Boehm, rhythm guitar Spencer Turnbull, bass guitar Christian Pache, and drums Jose Alvarado. They are the Valley Forgery. I don't know why I love that so much, but I love that name, the Valley Forgery. So much. And then my personal favorite, because of both the lineup and the name, okay? Vocals, Spencer Turnbull. Lead guitar, Wheeler. Rhythm, Stubbs. Bass, Boehm. Drums, Marsh. I present to you SPF 300.
All right. So
that was fun.
Yeah, you understood the assignment. That was cool.
I sure did. That was a good time. Oh, man. But, my friend, the time for fun has come and go. It is now time to hop into our media stables. I'm going to go first this week, Danny, because I am so excited for what is coming up, which is tomorrow night, an Apple Plus game in which I don't have to listen to some crappy national broadcast. I actually get to listen to T-Mac and Kruk and Taryn and some jabroni, but whatever, do the broadcast. I love the Fransky option.
Jabroni?
I don't know. One, it's a guy that like I'm pretty sure I know the name, but it's nothing too silly.
All right.
And we got Kruk, so does not matter who's in the booth.
No, it doesn't. I was just curious.
Yeah, if Kruk can carry Schmidt, Kruk can carry anybody. Went there. And then Sunday, I believe for the Roku game, T-Mac and Kruk are going to be a part of that one as well, or at least T-Mac. And as long as I've got T-Mac, I'll be just fine. So I think it's a testament to the fact that we have arguably the best booth, the best team, like the best A team in baseball. I've listened to plenty of national broadcasts. I've heard our local. I've heard other locals like Pittsburgh. My God, that is a snooze fest to listen to. Baltimore's not terrible, but it's not entirely engaging. There's only one John Kruk, and only one T-Mac can keep him at bay. I love our booth. That's my media stables. I'm super excited to hear our folks on national radio or national TV broadcast. What you got?
I know whoever does the Baltimore broadcast. He's a young guy. He's fairly new in the game. He got into a little bit. There was that little bit of a
kerfuffle
situation. Yeah, kerfuffle.
I remember that
controversy last season, and I know T-Mac knows him and worked with him and has nothing but great things to say about him. And I think that guy probably will end up being a name and a voice for Baltimore, just from what I've heard about him through. I forget his name. I apologize, but from what I heard about the guy, so I mean he's still on his way up. But I'm with you, man. T-Mac is the consummate professional, and Kruk may be like that lovable John Everyman color guy. And the way that T-Mac knows how to work and deal with him really does make that booth one of the best. I'm with you.
Because we all know a Kruk. We've all worked with that West Virginian hit guy that's super salt of the earth, blue collar, but like has 1,000,001 stories about the craziest life you've ever heard. And it's just like, yep, that's all Krucky. And it's just, oh, I love having that guy in the booth, especially because he and T-Mac get along so stinking well.
Yeah, so my media stables is a Jerry Coleman from Sports with Jerry Coleman. It's some local beat writer for the Baltimore Orioles. Put out a tweet post the Orioles series win against the Phillies. That just was kind of like, I'll read it to you. It was June 16th. Shout out to all the @Philly fans for coming to support the hashtag Baltimore economy while watching your team lose 2-3 hashtag Orioles. And that's fine. Here's the thing. He has a picture of the Phillies takeover as the picture. A couple of things with that.
I'm listening.
Tell me you're not used to a winning baseball team without telling me. You know?
Yup. That isn't something you should brag about.
No, not at all. You know,
Like,
tell me that you don't understand baseball culture without telling me. You know, like,
tell me you're jealous of our fan base.
Right. Like, if that happened, I mean, it was when the Mets fans come to CBP and they don't even take it over, there's just a lot of them. It is talked about in our media for days on end. Everyone talks about the slimy Mets fan. We're embarrassed. We're pissed off. We're never like, thanks for the money. We won 2 games in June. Like, it's a bad take. You should be embarrassed about it. You had 4 sellouts so far this season, and 3 of them came off the backs of the Philadelphia Phillies. Nothing to brag about. Winning 2 games out of 3 in June to a team that just got back from across the pond is nothing to celebrate. Like, if we see you in October, talk to me then, buddy. But like, awful. You're allowed to have whatever take you want. It's just wrong and it's awful.
So I'm so happy that this is your media stables, because that's actually what absolutely has me amped up as well. I have been on the receiving end or experienced a decent amount of vitriol from rather dog-haired franchises that have beaten us. So back when I lived out in Pittsburgh in 2009, so right at the height of our prowess and when we were kind of doing the best that we've done in our lifetime before now, for whatever reason, we could not beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. And every game I went to, they lost. And I just remember all the Pittsburgh fans talking so much shit as we're walking across the Clemente back to our cars. Shout out Roberto. And just giving us all this crap about, like, oh, Philly sucks. I'm like, we just hoisted John Middleton's trophy. Okay, like we're on this path to do it to at least get to the World Series again. Like, you are the greatest farm system in baseball right now.
Yeah, they are.
That is your value, and it still is. I am still trying to figure out where I can put money on what happens first. Paul Skeens gets a UCL, or Paul Skeens plays for a different team, because he's not going to be amazing in Pittsburgh. But either way, you got the Diamondback fans that were completely they were the kind of the same way when we got all the tickets out there, and then they ended up winning those games. And sure, that happened. That sucked. But act like you've been here before. All right. Maybe let the drummer for Jimmy Eat World enjoy his life instead of getting on stupid Twitter feuds with Philadelphia fans. Like, cool. You had a great chance. Like, you lost to the Rangers. Great job. Great job, Arizona. Cool.
Right. And we're not saying that Phillies fans don't jump on Twitter and talk some smack here or there. It does.
We're just very good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is, like, good for me, but not for thee type attitude. It's not quite that, really. It's more of I guess maybe it is. It's a how you do it. It's a when you do it. It's a who is even doing it. Like, Joey Bag of Donuts on 18th and I don't know, Morse, like him getting on his mom's computer and tweeting something to some jabroni in some other city, being like, oh, Phillies, Phillies, Phillies. That's one thing. A dude with a blue check mark beside the name, a drummer in a national touring act. Like, come on.
Amen. Amen. That's what's got me amped up. What's got you amped up, Dano?
It's simple. It is the summer solstice, really. The longer days, it means that we are reaching the end of June, which means we are reaching the beginning of July, which puts us closer to the All-Star break. It puts us closer to the trade deadline. It puts us closer to the pools and fireworks and watermelons. And I'm here for all of that. When it hits that time of the year, you start doing a little more of the standing watch. You start being like, hey, who's in, who's out, who's available, who's not available, who could we get to push this team to the next, level. So the fact that it is the summer solstice, I'm pretty amped about that.
I love that. I love that. You do love a good pagan holiday, so that's
I do.
wonderful. I prefer the winter solstice. I like a nice long dark night. It promotes staying inside, and that's lovely.
Well, as you know, because we talk, I do celebrate the solstice every year, the winter solstice. Not the summer one. I was actually with a buddy who knows that I do something for the winter solstice every year. He's like, "You doing something for summer?" I was like, no, I don't. Like, there is something a little more traditional, and I parlay the winter solstice into my winter holiday traditions. So, but the summer one, I'm into it as well because of everything that it brings: the fireworks, the pools, the beach days, the baseball starts to get real freaking serious now. So let's go.
All right. What's that one image when you think of summer? One image you can choose one image. What is it? When you think summer, what's that image?
The dolphin pool.
Oh, I like that.
I spent every day for so many summers, summers growing up. It's nostalgia. It's my youth. It's even like one of those things that, like, when I go back home and I'm driving, I'll slow down just to give it a slow gaze as I pass it while I'm going to my parents' house. When it's winter and it's empty and the pool is empty, there's this one view from the park that I've always wanted to like take a picture of and make it an album cover. Like, it is just a piece of nostalgia and some nostalgia for me. It's one of my favorite like scenes in the Sandlot, the public pool scene.
That is a great one.
Like, being a kid in the public pool, like, I love it, man. I love it.
That's crazy because mine was actually Rainbow Hills Swim Club in Steelton as well. Because,
yeah,
dude, that was a great pool. Even though I'm dealing with the swimmer's ear thing, I would go back in a second if it still existed. But it's a gentrified world, Danny, and that bad boy is gone.
Yeah, I swam a couple meets in there back in the day.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You seem like a swimmer. But you know what? You're right, man. That brings us up to the last segment of our scheduled program, which is Love It or Hate It. This week's Love It or Hate It, Danny, Eagles chance at Philadelphia Phillies games. Where do you land?
Dude, simple. Absolutely despise it.
How do you not? How do you not hate an Eagles chant at a Phillies game? So, folks, the reason that we're talking about this is recently Jack Fritz from WIP said that if the Eagles fans cheered on a Reese Hoskins home run, he would quit the show. It happened.
Fans, but everyone knows what you're talking about.
What did I say? What did I say, Eagles?
Yeah, he did.
Fuck. All right. So Phil's fans, that it happened. They did. And he did a fake resignation. They decided he needed to be punished. His punishment was to start, I think, 1 or 5, I don't know, Eagles chants at the Phillies game. I don't know. It's bit comedy radio. It's what that stuff is. Like, that's why you tune into a WIP or a WFAN. So it's fine. But I have always hated Eagles chants at Phillies games. I feel like we are two very separate identities, two very separate ways of types of fandoms. And I think we can do better. We can create our own identity. So I also hate it.
I mean, I think the right answer is hate it. And here's the deal. Do I understand that this is the Philly of Philadelphia? This is the Philly of Philadelphia? Yeah, it is. It sure is the Philly of Philadelphia. No. In the city, there is a crossover between the fandoms, right? A lot of 4-for-4 people, a lot of 5-for-5 people, a lot of diehard Phillies fans. And if you wanted to make a bet, you're probably be right 90% of the time that they're diehard Eagles fans too. But it's not all of them. And it is a different sport. And you are rooting on your team that is on the field, that the building that you're in. And the other thing about the Eagles chant is, sure, man, fly your flag, wave your colors. I don't care. That it's your right. do it, have some realization or what the moment is in the game. Because some of the times that you hear Eagles fans flying through the stadium on broadcast is like, are you not watching this freaking game right now? Like, what are you doing?
So what you're saying is a lot of those times the Eagles are down and in need of a rally, and some hoagie mouth is going to start an Eagles chant, thinking that that's somehow going to motivate us to do well.
Yeah, you did the Eagles thing again, but we all know what you mean. Yes, yeah, or like some just like bad situational time that is like, this is way too intense of a situation. This is a big spot in this game, and you're like, get the hell out, dude. If like, get the hell out.
Well, I think it's a bad look too. It really is. It makes us look like a
Absolutely.
degenerate and sophomoric fan base. And honestly, I think the Philadelphia Phillies fan base is classier than that kind of cheap tactics and those craps. And again,
I
we can come up
agree
with our own
wholeheartedly.
chant.
Yeah, we can.
And we can
Why?
we
Do you
can
have one?
You know what, Danny? I've always had one.
I
And
know.
here's the beauty of it. It's so simple. An Eagles fan could do it. Okay. You take the
Oh.
same cadence from the Eagles chant, and you just replace Eagles with Phils. So are you listening, folks? Eagles fans, do you have your crayons? I'm kidding, guys. I love you guys. It's PHILS, go Phillies. It's so brilliant. It's so easy. PHILS, go Phillies. Oh my
Let's hear
gosh.
it.
I
Let's
just
hear
solved it.
Yeah.
PHILS, go Phillies.
All right. Yeah, I'm into it.
How do you not? Guys, I'm coming to the game on Sunday. If you want to show me how much you love this show, let's get one of those bad boys going, yeah?
Yeah, I'm into it. Let's go.
I'm here for it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, hey, Michael Roscoe, we're sorry, bud.
I couldn't help it. It's Michael Roscoe, Matthew Pupo. I love you both. I know you are diehard Eagles fans, and I am diehard fans of you guys. So all in good fun. All in good fun. That, I think, Danny, that's going to wrap it up for us. Folks, if you want to tell me just why I suck for how I viewed the Eagles this week, you can email us, quitchasingpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter @quitchasingpod. Or if you wanted to watch this or one of our older episodes, go ahead and hop on our YouTube channel @quitchasingpod.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, everyone, thanks for listening. We'll do better next week, I promise. And everyone knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant.